Hello, I'm Gunner Larson.
Eric Larson.
And where did you get the idea for building this massive aircraft carrier?
So when we were at Oaks for Brickfair in Pennsylvania in the fall, Jack had come up with the idea. He's come up with some designs for Hellcats, Helldivers, and Avenger fighters planes. So we decided, what can we do to display those? We had just come up with the BA-17 hard stand, so he said, well, the only idea that would really work would be an aircraft carrier. So we knew it was a really huge undertaking. We started looking at the carriers that we could do, and we'd seen the Intrepid and some other Lego carriers had been done before, so we'd seen the Hornet hadn't. And being that it's a museum ship in California, we thought it would be a good idea to kind of highlight some of Hornet CV-12's exploits in the Pacific and do a scene depicted around the sinking of the Japanese battleship Yamato.
All right, so there's a lot of different minifigures here of all different colors. What do they do? What do they mean?
Sure. So when we started off and we wanted to do a depiction, we saw pictures of them taking off to actually sink the Yamato, and I saw a lot of the different figures that were out on the deck. So we had to really dive into the history of it and figure out what colors were there, because a lot of the photos are black and white, but we knew these guys were color. So when you look at the yellow teams, there's 4 yellow teams. They would move the planes off the elevator decks and the decks back into position to take off, and also when they landed, they'd move them to the front of the ship. So you've got yellow guys. If you look there closely, you've got deck officers, you've got elevator operators, but you've got the numbered guys that would move the planes. And you got guys in green. They worked the catapults, the arresters, and a lot of the nets that would stop planes before they made it to hit the island in case there was issues. You'll see guys on the deck that are red. Those will be guys that are working on torpedoes, bombs, but also you've got guys that are working in the firefighting department, as well as 2 guys on the end in white that are called the hot papas that wear asbestos suits for really difficult fires. See the guys up on the island are wearing the tan Navy uniform. We didn't get time to print the fronts of those, but we will print those for the next time we bring it out. And then of course you've got medics that are also on the side decks waiting in case there's any kind of incidents. And then you've got the regular standard issue Navy for all the side deck crews that on the 20s and the 40s. So what we've got on deck though is we're recreating what they would have sent up in World War II, which was the Hellcats that would go up first. It would create a cap above the ship and protect the carrier when all the other planes were being brought on deck. So if you look below decks, you look down at the hangar deck, there's 36 planes on deck, and those are the Hellcats. But below towards the back, you have the Helldivers, which are the dive bombers, which would have come up next once these Hellcats took off. The plane movers would have moved them and loaded them to the back. They would have taken off. And then the Avenger torpedo bombers, which are located in the front of the ship, they would have gone up next. So what happened here is we're showing the Yamato was coming to beach itself on Okinawa when Task Force 58 identified it was there and then sent up this flight to try and intercept, and the actual Avenger bombers that were on this were able to score a torpedo hit. So we really wanted to show that, being the Yamato was the largest battleship ever, and kind of recreate what happened that day. So that's kind of the history of it and what went on the decks. As far as me doing the historical research, Gunner really got into the actual ship, building the side decks, the guns, the island, so he could probably help you with going over some of the details of the actual ship.
All right, so of course, this aircraft carrier is massive. So how is the supports and all the insides of the MOC supporting everything on top?
So on the lower part of the ship, it's all filled in with Technic brick from the Lego Pick-a-Brick website. So it's all just black, light gray, and dark gray Technic brick we ordered. I think it's about 7,000 of them, supporting the hangar deck and the sidewalls.
All right, and then of course the main centerpiece of the MOC are all the different airplanes. So how do you guys get to manage so many? I think it was 90.
So our friend Jack, he built all of the planes and designed them, and we did the printing for them.
All right, and then also as you can see, the whole entire top deck is completely printed. What was the process of printing the whole entire deck?
So my father has a UV printer, and it's about 12,000 printed 1x8 tiles, and hours and hours of work to get them all printed.
Right. All right. So and underneath over here, we got lots of different planes and stuff like that. What was the process of putting all of those inside of there?
It was very, very tedious, but we had to stick our hands inside through the doors to get all the planes to be inside of the hangar deck.
So how do you guys manage to make this island over here with all the moving parts, with the flags? What do they mean? And the guns overall?
So the island is mostly on the inside hollow, so we can fit all the motors and wires. It is mostly Lego powered up motors, and the wires are from Light My Bricks. All of it is held up on the side with brackets, and the flags have HORNET for Hornet in the naval flags.
All right, and then for the 5-inch guns over here, what was the process of designing them?
We had to get all the correct measurements, and on the inside, it's mostly brackets again, and all the curved panels are attached with clips and bars.
All right, and then so for right here, how does the motor and the light work? How do you guys manage to wire that through it?
So on the inside, it's all mostly like train motors and such, and there's a remote control behind that we can control the speed and rotation of the spinning turrets.
All right, well, thank you very much for taking us through the mock, and hope to see more from you guys next Brickfair.
Thank you very much.